Well, hello everyone. Good to see everyone out there.
Hello.
Welcome to On the Mark Sports Talk. You found us, and your host is Mark with a C. That's me. Hi, everybody. And
Hello.
that's how I spell it. When I say Mark with a C, that's how we spell it. M-A-R-C. And welcome to our very, very special 200th show. What do you hear about that, guys? What do you think about that? Guys and ladies, of course. And of course, we started this on Thursday, May 7th, 2020, during COVID, unfortunately. But we have not missed a week. And here we are, 200 consecutive weeks in. I think it's just a special feat. It's a special day. We have balloons. We're so happy. We're so happy you're joining us today. Milton wants to say something before we go to our candle lighting and we go on to our show. Milton?
Yep, a quick thing. I personally, and I'm sure everyone feels the same, want to thank you, Mark, for bringing us to Zoom. It came on with COVID, and you were a big help to all of us. I know all of us feel the same, and I wanted to also thank everybody else on the Zoom that we wouldn't have a show without all of you. You know, Mark, thank you, but even we needed everybody that attended most of these weeks or all of these weeks. Thanks again for making it possible. That's all I wanted to say. And let's hope we all stay healthy, well, and have many more of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Milton. Nicely said. And again, the show is you guys. I just organize it for you guys, but I can't do it alone. We need you people. Thank you. So, since it's a special day, and usually on special days, we have cake and we have a candle, and we light the candle, then we blow out the candle. Not a birthday, but it's really like a special day. So, if you do have a candle, if you do have some cake, why don't you light it right now? Like I'll do mine. You guys light yours. Don't burn your house down. You could show us your candles and all that stuff.
I only have cake, Mark.
Whatever you
We got pretzels.
just let them eat cake.
Yeah.
Guys, like a little toast here. I just want to say thank you again to everyone who made 200 shows. Did it go quick? I don't know. 4 years of our lives just went by.
Yeah.
In May, it'll be 4 years. It's amazing. But again, thank you very much. Enjoy the cake, blow out the candle, and let's play ball or have a nice show. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Thank you.
Mark.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
And this show probably will be on, as I said, YouTube. So watch what you say. And if you have any people in the background, another room, make sure they don't yell in or they come in. No.
We'll all behave ourselves.
All right.
Shouldn't there be two candles?
What was that?
Shouldn't there be two candles for 200?
Oh, why didn't you mention that?
Yeah.
Mike.
Good thinking, Mike.
All right. You could blow out yours too. All right, why don't we go on to that special? Oh, first of all, we have someone special who can't stay for the show. My wife, Michelle Gold, is with us for a little bit, and she wanted to come on and also say something to us.
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to say hi to all of you guys that Mark spends every Thursday afternoon with, despite anything else that I would want him to do. And as it's been already said, you know, this show was born out of COVID when we were all unable to be together physically and we were all isolated. And, you know, this brought all of you together for that time. And it has now grown to something that includes people who are across the country. And I think that's amazing. So I just wanted to say Mazal Tov to Mark and his continued commitment to making this project work. And also to you guys, as he said, because congratulations to you for showing up, because without you, there wouldn't be a show, just like he said. And so I thank you for occupying Mark for Thursday afternoons.
Glad to do it.
Glad to do it is right.
Thank you,
Wish
honey. Thank you,
the
Michelle.
best and health.
Okay, thank you. Nicely said, like you always. She talks better than me. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn.
She'd say better than I.
You're all from Brooklyn.
All right, thanks,
Yeah,
Michelle.
right.
Not really.
All right, so I gave you guys an assignment, and we have a lot of people on the screens right now, and I don't know if everyone is going to participate. I'm not going to call on you. If you want to, take the mic and mention if you're hosting a dinner, and you can invite anyone in the sports world, dead or alive. Who would you invite and why? And no more than 3 people. Now we have to keep it down to a minute or 2 minutes the most. As I've been told, if everyone speaks for 3 minutes, that's going to be an hour. We don't want that. Sometimes it may be repetitious. So think about the people you're going to talk about, who you're inviting, and hopefully they'll come to your dinner. Just inviting them. Hope they don't just not show up. And you want to just say a couple of words, Larry and Stephen? I know you getting ready to talk. Is that why your hands are up?
Yes.
All right. So why don't we start? Action, go, and we'll start with Larry.
All right. I picked 3 MLB players that I would have liked to have dinner with: Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Hack Wilson. I picked them not so much for their great baseball achievements, but more so for their sense of humor. For example, the Chicago Cubs' Hack Wilson was known to drink the booze heavily. In 1948, a reporter asked him, how can you hit a pitch ball so well with so much booze? Wilson replied, when I see 3 balls, I just swing at the middle one. If there's time today, I'll give my full story on funny lines in sports.
Okay. Thank you. Who else would like to go? That was nice and quick. Good. Stephen R.
Okay, I had Bill Bradley because I love his intellect and his work ethic. Bobby Mercer because I'm a huge Yankee fan and he was my favorite Yankee and had a great sense of humor. And Sandy Koufax, even though I didn't like any of the teams he played for, I wanted to find out about his Jewish experiences in major leagues and also at University of Cincinnati. That's it, Mark. I'm finished.
Okay. Thank you. Fred.
Walt Frazier, Red Holtzman, Willis Reed for being the linchpins of the 69-70 Knicks that won the World Championship and unified this city during tumultuous times in the city and our country, and for playing basketball the right way.
Here, here.
Here. Thank you. Gerald.
3 MLB guests I would have. Bill Mazeroski, we all know why. Absolutely great 1960 home run. First Lieutenant Theodore Samuel Williams for being a great player. He gave me a lot of thrills, although I didn't see most of his career. I was too young. And the third one was Jackie Robinson, not only for breaking the color line, but for playing so well in MLB, notwithstanding that was his weakest sport, number one. Number two, his last year at UCLA, he batted under 100 and did not play an organized ball for about 3 or 4 years because of the war effort. And he came back and made the Hall of Fame remarkably. And of course, he was a man on a mission. So he was one of my favorites.
Okay. Thank you. Milton.
Yeah. The 3 people that I picked, what I would invite was Mickey Mantle, Joe Namath, and Muhammad Ali. All of them came at a time when the sport was needed. Joe Namath came at the time, at the right time, with his charismatic, and Mantle also, and Cassius Clay, who became Muhammad Ali. I probably would have asked Muhammad Ali if he really thought he could have beaten George Foreman if Foreman had trained properly for that great fight where he knocked him out. But those are the three people. They all were legends of their time, heroes, and it was great growing up with them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Joe, then Michael.
Yeah, three people, Branch Rickey, because he was able to break the color line in baseball. And just to give you an example, baseball was integrated in 1947, a year before the armed forces were integrated, and 7 years before Brown versus Board of Education. It was one of the most momentous decisions ever, and Rickey did it, and I would love to have been able to talk to him about it. Second would be Curt Flood, who, gave up his career in order to battle the reserve clause. He lost, and he lost in court, but eventually it was overturned. And the last one, and I know that this is going to be contentious with at least one other person on this show, is Colin Kaepernick, because very much the same. By taking the knee, he gave up his career. I don't know whether I'd like to ask him whether he thought he was going to be blackballed forever, but that in essence is what happened. And he gave up millions of dollars. And, whether you like him or don't like him, you can't tell me straight face that he wouldn't have been a better player he wouldn't have been better quarterback on the Jets than anything they've had recently. That's it. That's it.
That's a low bar.
Thank you on those are good ones. All right, Michael.
Okay. Two in baseball, Phil Rizzuto and Bill White, because during the Yankee lean years, there was nobody more entertaining during rain delays than listening to the banter of these two gentlemen and watching and listening to Rizzuto running out of the broadcast booth when there was a rain delay and there was lightning and thunder. So I really found that entertaining, especially when the Yankees weren't that great. And the other one is Marty Glickman, because I feel that he was one of the most entertaining radio announcers that I could ever recall. I used to listen to the Giant Kings holding my radio, picturing how the players are going left to right on my radio, and watching Pat Summerall kick a ball, and Glickman will go, "It's up, it's high enough, it's deep enough, and it's no good, up to the right." Or Alex Webster running. Alex Webster, he takes the ball 2, 3, 4, 45 yards he goes. So that's my third. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Wayne. Hi.
But I went. I was thinking way outside the box. So these are mine. My first one is Jesse Owens. I wanted to see how he felt knowing he was running in the meters in the Olympics with in Nazi Germany, and also how he felt when he was told by Avery Brundage that he was replacing Marty Glickman and Sam Stoller. My number two, outside the box, was Mike Erezioni, the captain of the hockey team in 1980. I'd like to find out from Mike what Herb Brooks told him before the game, how he felt scoring the winning goal, and what the locker room was like after the game. And my third one was way out of the box, Ron Turcotte. Ron Turcotte was the jockey on Secretariat, and I wanted to see how it felt to be riding probably the greatest racehorse in the history of the sport, although I guess there's some people who might think Man of War was the greatest, but certainly Secretariat in my time was the greatest I've ever seen. That's my three, Mark.
Good ones. Good. Ron Turcotte still alive? Anyone know if he's still alive?
Who's that?
Turcotte?
Ron Turcotte is still alive. In 1978, he fell off a horse and he's now paralyzed.
Oh, yeah. All right. Anybody else? Well, I see Jeff has one.
Yeah. My three I picked because I felt they had unblemished character. Okay. Willis Reed, number one, is the most dominant and heroic player in any sport in my lifetime. And the 1977 game will stay in my head till I die. Number two, Yogi Berra, best catcher in my lifetime, as supported by Bill James, also said the same thing. And Yogi reminded me of my father, both in his stature and in his speech delivery. Tom Seaver, I'm a Yankee fan, but Tom Seaver, he was an intellectual among athletes and probably the best right-handed pitcher in my lifetime. That's it.
Thank you for that. Anybody else want to share? All right, Howie.
I just have one. Maybe it's because his son's up for an Oscar, but I picked former baseball commissioner Abe Bartlett Giamatti for several reasons. His after that Dowd report came out and he suspended Pete Rose for gambling. What would he think about what's going on after that? What went on after that with the steroids and all that, and how he would handle it, and also how he would handle whether Rose could be eligible for the Hall of Fame at a certain point. I just recently read something about Giamatti that people were asking to reinstate Shoeless Joe Jackson, from the 1919 scandal. And Giamatti declined because he says there's nobody alive that can provide us with any new information. So find on that. But I think it would have been a nice dinner sitting across from Dr. Giamatti.
Howard, how would you invite his son to come with him?
I'd love to have him. He's one of my favorite.
Mark, can I say something about his son? His son lives in downtown Brooklyn, and my son, he works for UPS, and he sometimes delivers to him. That's Paul Giamatti. Great actor.
Great actor.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay, Dave, you want to do one?
Sure. First is Wilt Chamberlain. I was a really big fan of Wilt. I would like to find out about his experiences, especially losing to Bill Russell all the time. My second is Roger Maris, because I was also a big fan of Roger Maris. I saw him hit 5 home runs in 1961, including his 61st home run, and find out about his season. I changed the third one. I picked Mo Berg. I'd like to find out about his spying experiences in Nazi Germany.
He wouldn't tell you.
I think it's declassified now.
Yeah.
Very good. Nice 3. All right, Mike, you have one? 2, 3?
Yep. All right. So my number 1 pick is Bill Walsh, ex of the 49ers. Was called the genius because he really was a very smart guy. And I would just have been interested in talking to him about his evaluation of players, how he put together a squad, and what it was like to live the life that he was living at San Francisco at the time. My second pick is John McEnroe, because I like tennis a lot. And I see him as a kind of a colorful guy with very opinionated, and would be fun to talk to and listen to about some of his experiences and also his opinions of players of his day and some of the players who are playing now. Finally, I was going to pick Babe Ruth, but then when I called Larry, he said he had already had a dinner obligation with Larry, so I couldn't get him. And then I thought of Hank Greenberg, because he was the first really famous Jewish player. It would have been kind of interesting to talk to him, but I got voicemail. So finally, I settled on a guy that many of you probably have not heard of, although Howie might have, a guy named Les Kiter.
Oh, yeah. In again, out again, Finnegan.
Yeah.
I grew up in Palo Alto, and if you grew up on the West Coast back in the day, we'll say, you just got recreated major league games most of the time. Certainly during the week, occasionally they had Sunday baseball on the radio with a real game. And Kiter had to go through all these steps to reproduce a game: crowd noise, hit a little metal or wooden block that was kind of the bat hitting the ball, and other noises. And it just would have been fun to find out a little more about what he did and what it was like to do that on a daily basis. Those are my 3.
All right, thank you.
Great. I like
Joe,
that.
you want to say something? Joe, did you go yet?
No, I did. I just wanted to say that Les Kiter recreated the Giants and Dodger games for us East Coasters after they left.
And,
Yes.
and then his famous phrase in basketball: "Shot in again, out again, Finnegan."
Anybody else? That is good. Anybody else want to share? I
Can
have.
I just say one
I
more
have
thing about
3
Les
also.
Kiter, Mark?
Go ahead.
Les Kiter, when he was doing the Giant recreations, he would say something like, the ball gets hit, and Mays on his horse, back, boom, up against the fence. And here comes the runner, here comes the ball, the runner. He beat the ball. That was Les Skyder.
That's
It
And
was
we
good.
loved
It was good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anybody else want to share? I
What
guess-
about you?
Okay, I'll give you mine. The first one I have is Nolan Ryan. I loved him as a Met and even named my first son after him. We tried Ryan Gold. First, I wanted to be like Ryan, like Ryan Sandberg, Ryan Gold, but that's a
Right.
beer.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And that wasn't going to work.
Ryan Durham.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Gold is really like it's an Irish name, right? It's really, really Irish.
Right.
Tons of
So we
jazz.
decided to put the Ryan in his middle name, became Scott Ryan Gold. So we named him after Nolan Ryan. The second one was Gary Carter. I was a big Gary Carter fan when he was at Expo, and I followed his career there. Then I was so great, so happy we became a Met. The kid and his love for the game. He's gone much too soon. Much too soon. What a great player, Gary, and just the team player, a rah guy. Loved him. And then a repeat. I think Jeff, you said Tom Seaver.
Yes.
Yeah, I also had Tom Seaver, great Met pitcher. I always made myself available when I knew he was gonna pitch. I would always watch those games because you never knew what you're gonna get. I loved his pitching. I loved his great interviews afterwards, and of course, they always showed Nancy. You haven't seen Nancy, right? But those are my three.
Mark, could I ask you a question on Tom
You
Seaver?
may.
Did I have a picture of him throwing? Did he throw a palm ball? He had 4 fingers on one side of the ball and the thumb on the other. A picture of him with that. I don't know
Slider
if he ever threw
fastball.
that. Wasn't that a palm ball? We had.
Yeah, but he was a slider fastball guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think he threw that too.
Yeah.
Speed.
Mark,
That's how he threw the
Maybe.
changeup.
Maybe.
right. Mark, does he have any comparison, would you say, to Garrett Cole, Seaver? Or different?
What to compare?
Nothing.
Different eras,
Yeah,
in your mind, if you're a Met fan, you could see him winding up and
Right.
letting that ball go, and they always talk about the knee hitting the
Hitting the
ground and
dirt,
rubbing
yeah.
against the dirt. You could see him all the time. Another guy gone too soon. Gone too-
Yeah. I could see Cole if he pitched in Seaver's era making a run at 300 wins.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. All right. No, Wayne, you want to add
Yeah,
something?
this is just an observation. The only repeat from everyone was Tom Seaver, which I thought was very
No.
interesting.
No, Willis Reed was also repeat.
Oh, Wills, okay.
I had
Yes.
that.
Sorry,
Jeff had
right,
Willis
you
Reed.
and Jeff, but I thought that was very interesting.
Very
Everyone
good.
giving
Very
3 and only 2 repeats. I found that
Very good.
No.
Very good. Thank you
Deservedly
guys
so,
for
deservedly
your
so.
participation. And I thought it was fun. Something a little different here on the Mark. So why don't we delve in? By the way, if you're wearing your shirts, why don't you just stand up a little bit? Show your shirt. If you don't have the new shirt, show the old shirt. And if you don't have either one, show us a shirt. There you go. Thanks for advertising for this show. Did you see the picture I sent this morning of my 2 grandkids?
Yes.
I thought they'd come on. They went to school with it on today. So we got some. They probably asked, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" And the 4-year-old
On the
has no
block.
clue.
Grandpa.
No clue. All right, and the 2-year-old, I don't know. So thank you for your participation. So why don't we start with some of our regular features, and let's see how far we get. And Gerald, why don't we start with you? Because I know you like to go first. You're our leadoff batter.
Yes.
Personality of the week. You'll tell us who it is, and you're sponsored by Highways.
Okay, give me one moment.
You're not ready?
Uh-oh.
There goes that time.
My biography this week is Rodney Klein Carew, or simply Rod Carew as we knew him. And I want to digress a little bit, give you a little history of how he became Rodney Klein Carew. He was born on a train in Panama, and the attending physician was Rodney Klein. And his mother was so grateful that she named him after the doctor, Rodney Klein. His baseball career highlights: American League Rookie of the Year, 18 times All-Star, American League MVP, 7 times American League batting champion. He became the 16th member of the 3,000 hit club in 1985. In 1972, he won the batting title without hitting a home run. And germane to that, he averaged only 6 home runs per year in his entire career, and his OPS was 822, which was good, but not terrific. But his lifetime batting average is 328. Last player to win a batting title in the season without any home run was Zach Wheat in 1918. Carew was, let's see, Rod Carew stated in an interview in the year 2020 that baseball saved him in many ways, including he had thoughts about killing his father, who was very abusive. And his mother told him, just play baseball and try to get away from your father, and things will be fine. And that seemed to work. At age 14, the family immigrated from Panama to the United States. Specifically, it went to Washington Heights, in the borough of Manhattan in New York City. He never, in fact, played high school baseball. He played on a semi-pro team named the Bronx Cavaliers. 2 Minnesota Twins scouts discovered him and did everything they could to hide him from the New York Yankees, who really slipped up on that, Mike. He stole home 7 times in 1969. He had 7 batting titles. I believe Ty Cobb had 8. While he was a proficient hitter, again, his career OPS is only 822, averaged 6 home runs, 67 RBIs. Also, Catfish Hunter said there are no holes in his game. I also read that if they found a hole in his game, he quickly adjusted and that hole quickly disappeared. And that concludes my short and brief biography of Rodney Klein Carew.
Okay.
Good.
Anybody got some comments, feedback? Mike, go.
Yeah, I just want to ask if the Klein nomenclature had anything to do with his religion, which was Judaism. That's one question. And number 2, I would just like to mention, if Robinson Cano's career did not go south, he probably would have had everything that Cano had, that Carew had, records-wise. Those 2 things I want to say. But how did he become Jewish?
He was not
I don't
Jewish.
think he became Jewish.
He never converted.
Mike, as Mark just mentioned, he in fact is not Jewish. His wife, I believe his first wife was Jewish. He never converted. There's no evidence of him ever converting to Judaism.
Yeah.
The name Klein, again, came from Rodney Klein, the attending physician who delivered him as a baby on a train in Panama.
Yeah, Panama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In a canal zone.
In the canal zone. Okay.
But his 3 kids were bat mitzvah.
Well, that's
Raised
the
Jewish.
mother's influence.
That's the mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mm.
Very good. I wonder how many inside the park home runs he had. You said he didn't hit many home runs. He didn't hit it over the fence, but I'm sure he hit some gappers. And
I'm going to try to look that up, Mark. I'll try to.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on Rod Carew? I mean, he started as a Twin and went to the Angels, right? He finished with the Angels, right?
Yeah.
I wonder, did he play more years with the Angels or more years with the Twins? I don't know. Something to look up. Okay. Let us move on. Thank you for that. Milton, do you have a
All right.
song for us this week? Because we're dying to guess songs, right?
1965, number 1 hit, became the Ohio State's marching bands.
Yeah.
Keep it quiet.
Let's hear it.
Mm.
Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on.
All right, Milt, you can fade it out.
1965. Who did it?
The McCoys.
The McCoys. is
Boys,
correct.
all right.
Hang on,
And that was
Sloopy.
the Ohio
Hang on,
State
Sloopy.
marching band song.
The Ohio State.
Yeah, the Ohio State. I
1965.
saw them in concert.
Yep.
At one of those like Murray the K.
Brooklyn Fox.
shows in
Brooklyn Fox.
Fox.
It was a good
Yeah.
Saw the
song.
The
Moody
Marine race
Blues before
watching.
we knew the Moody Blues. I stayed with there.
Yeah,
A
really?
few other groups remember
Go
that.
Moody
now.
Blues were at the Brooklyn Fox?
Yeah.
All right,
So
so
was
we
Sloopy
like
a
that.
boat? Milton, was
Yeah.
Sloopy a boat? Hang on, Sloopy. What was Sloopy?
I don't know, but it was a #1 hit here and 4 in the UK, 1965.
Great song. Great song.
Milton,
That's
why
four.
was that the Ohio State marching band song? Do you know?
It was. Somebody heard it and they used it in 1960.
Was,
Check it out.
was, not anymore.
Was
Great. Just it was a great song for marching for the band. Yeah.
Right. Right. Very good, Milton. And I'm sure you'll have one for us at the end.
Yeah, I'll
of
have
the
another
show
one
today.
later in
All
the
right, get
show.
it queued up for us. All right. As far as beep beeps go, I found 2 this week. One is a pitcher for the Mariners. His name is Juan Manuel. Last name is Then.
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 And
Then.
now.
It's a family, Mr. and
Then,
Mrs.
yeah.
Then.
When?
We have fans.
Unusual. And then there's a woman who plays for the Phoenix Mercury. That's the WNBA team. Sug, S-U-G, first name. Sutton. Sug Sutton. I thought it was unusual.
Sounds like an old Red Fox routine.
I don't know. So let us move on. We're not doing the day of the week because we have to speed up some things. We could find that some other time. So why don't we go to, I'm going to mix it up a little bit here. Howie, you think, well, Howie's just coming in, so forget about Howie. Mike.
Sure.
Not Michael, but Mike from DC and surroundings. You want to go first this week?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay, you're sponsored by Spoons. Spoons.
Spoons. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, you go first this
I'm all
week.
for that. Spooning, that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as usual, nothing but depressing news coming out of this corner. The Wizards have now gone to 9-49 on the year after losing to Golden State the other night. They are tied with Detroit for worst team in the NBA, thanks to a recent win by Detroit over Chicago. And going forward, well, there's a big game coming up in, I think, a few weeks ago between Washington and Detroit, and this may well decide who ends up with the title of worst team in the league. But this is really just about everybody has given up, I think, on this team. The Caps over a 3-game span won 2 and suffered an overtime loss. So they seem to be making a move in the standings, trying to get into playoff contention. But the team that they are trying to catch, which is in 8th place in the Eastern Conference, is Detroit, the Red Wings. So they went into Detroit, it was either last night or the night before, and Detroit got 2 in the first, and another 3 in the second, and another 3 in the third, and the Caps lost 8-3 to the Detroit Red Wings, which sort of put a damper on these playoff hopes, I would say. Then finally, the Commanders.
Please, can you take a minute to get him in the bathroom?
Okay, I have to take a break. I'll be back.
I'll
finish
do
it off
We'll
in
come
just a
back to you
minute.
later. So, Larry, you have a story, right? For us?
Yes.
You're sponsored by Steam. Steam. S-T-E-A-M. Steam.
I'm going to continue with funny lines in sports. Here are 7 of them. First, in 1932, President Herbert Hoover's salary was $75,000 and Babe Ruth's $80,000. When faced with a cut to be more in line with Hoover's salary, Ruth reportedly said, quote, "What the hell has Hoover got to do with this anyway? I had a better year than he did." Close quote. Second, in the early 1930s, Winston Churchill was taken to his first football game. It was played at Columbia University. Asked for his comments after the game, Churchill then replied, "Actually, it is somewhat like rugby, but why do you have to have all those committee meetings?" Third, this is the one I did on Hack Wilson, so I'm going to skip it. Fourth, in the 1957 World Series, catcher Yogi Berra tried to distract Hank Aaron from concentrating at the plate. Yogi told Aaron, quote, "You need to hold the bat so you can read the label," close quote. After hitting a home run, Aaron rounded the bases, crossed the plate, and said to Yogi, "I didn't come up here to read." Fifth, basketball great Wilt Chamberlain, who played between 1959 and 1973, made fun of the concept of perfection. He said, quote, "They say that nobody is perfect. Then they tell you practice makes perfect. I wish they'd make up their mind." Six, with 73 losses and only 9 wins for the 76ers 1972-73 NBA season, General Manager Pat Williams makes light of his team's struggles. Quote, "We can't win at home. We can't win on the road. As general manager, I just can't figure out where else to play."
Roy Rubin.
Finally,
Right, ex-LIU coach.
in 1981, Dodger manager Tommy Lasorda entered into intense contract negotiations with Mexican-born pitcher Fernando Valenzuela. When someone asked the Dodgers head honcho what Fernando and the mania that surround him might demand, Lasorda said he wants Texas back.
They should have given it to him.
That completes my story.
Thank you. Anybody want to comment on Larry's story? Okay, we got a little chuckle out of those things.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just one thing quick. The coach of the 76ers team that he was alluding to was Roy Rubin, who was very successful coaching Long Island University when they made the NIT a couple of times in the 1960s. And then he went to the pros and did not have the success with that team.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Gerald?
Just want to mention Rod Carew played 12 years for Minnesota and 7 for California.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. All right, why don't we move on? Howie, I'm going to go to you now.
Okay.
On your West Coast sports. And I have a sponsor for you, French fries.
All right.
French fries want to sponsor you. There you go.
Well, nothing's new out of the 49ers. They haven't announced getting a new defensive coordinator. And there's been nothing about why they're doing it. I mean, like watching the Super Bowl game or the other games, they just would rush for 4 guys, and I think they needed to do more defensive end and linebacker play. So that's up in the air. Pablo Sandoval, the original Panda. I hear we're getting a pair of pandas at San Diego Zoo from China, but the Panda is a non-roster invitee. He's lost a lot of weight, and if he makes the club, I'll buy you all sodas. I doubt that'll happen. The other thing about the Giants is they're just waiting. You know, they would really, it really would be a nice fit to get another pitcher because one or two of their rookie pitchers are kind of injured. One was even sent back home. But we'll see how it shakes out. Matt Chapman, or the guy from San Diego, or
Blake Snell.
Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell. So there's nothing new on that, nothing definitive. And with the Warriors started winning. First of all, I think their competition lately has been pretty weak, but they've gotten what, 3 games over 500, 3 or 4 games over 500.
Right.
And that was when they benched Klay Thompson to come off the bench and start Kaczynski with Curry in the backcourt. And it's been working, and bring Klay Thompson off the bench. And Kuminga's play is working, and the other players coming off the bench are doing well. We're about to see Chris Paul in a game or two, and so it'll look really interesting seeing the second unit play with everybody healthy. They're right now in, I think, the 9th position. They're kind of tied with the Lakers, I think. Ron, right?
I think they're half a game behind.
Yeah. So it's very close, but who knows? It's exciting this time of year. That's all I got.
Thank you, Howie.
Wait.
Oh, we got some comments there. Mike?
Yeah, they lost Wiggins, right?
Wiggins is home again on a family matter. This is like shades of last year. And they're not saying what it is. Last year, I think it came out that his father was ill, but this year they're not saying anything. But yeah, I don't know how long it'll last.
But he missed a quarter of the season last year.
He missed about 21.2 games last year. Yeah.
That's a quarter. All right. Larry, Gerald, okay. Fred.
It's interesting that Klay Thompson was the leading scorer the other day at 25 points off the bench.
I know, I noticed that. I mean, so it can work. I saw him the other night where the first half he missed a 3-pointer. So this may work out very well.
And he only played 27 minutes to get those 25 points.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not in playoff competition. They're not in the top 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10 is the play-in.
Right. So they're in there.
They're about 10th. They're about last. Yeah.
They're 30 and 27, about a half game ahead of the Lakers, but they're only 3 games behind Phoenix. It's jumbled up, and they're like in the East.
Yeah. Okay. Gerald.
Howie, I was always fascinated with Sandoval. I always thought he was a good ball player, of course, very overweight. And I never saw a third baseman as overweight as he was playing in a game. Usually overweight players play first base, let's say, but third base, I bunt on him all day.
Well, you know what? He was like, it's funny you bring that up because I was at one game and we were watching play third base and he made a great play. He was like an elephant. You know, how an elephant is very, can move very easily on their feet, even though they're elephants.
Yeah.
That's what was Sandoval. Yeah. He could really, he could feel.
He's a long shot to make the team, right? He's a long shot.
I mean, he hasn't played in at least 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting a workout this spring. That's what. Mike.
Yeah.
Quick comment.
Sandoval
was very agile.
No, Mike. You're Michael. Michael. Mike, you're Michael. He's Mike.
Okay. Back to the Warriors. The very game that Larry was referring to, Curry went 0 for 7 in the first half, had 0 points at the half. He did score in the second half. He got, but his shooting percentage is way down. And I think what's happened with him is that with Chris Paul out, they counted on him as the point guard for an inordinate number of minutes per game. I mean, this is a guy who's 35 years old, who's playing 35 minutes a game. And I think he just showed wear and tear. I think he's a tired player. And if I were coaching that team, I would rest him a great deal more than they have been.
Michael.
I hope.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that I compared Sandoval to John Belushi. Same body type, but agile as can be. You know, that's you can do cartwheels, both of them.
Fred.
Yeah. Howie, when you mentioned about the defensive coordinator, is an item in today's New York Post that the 49ers are very interested in a guy, Dave Merritt, who is defensive backs coach of the Chiefs and was an assistant with the Giants several years ago.
Oh, because the only name I heard was the former coach of the Chargers. Is that Staley?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, Staley. He was an assistant defensive coordinator, I think, with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And also, I'm looking forward tonight watching Golden State play the Knicks. There was a big article in the New York Post about Kuminga because he's originally from Long Island here, and how he's really fit into the team. He's averaging 15 points.
Yeah, that's the big success that Kuminga stepped up and they played Kuminga, Green, and Wiggins up front.
Yeah. I hope Brunson's going to play tonight because he sat out Tuesday night. Haven't heard
Wiggins.
Can't win without him. Okay, thank you, Howie, on that. Let's see, Ron. You want to talk a little bit about hockey and your Rangers, because you're Mr. Ranger on this stuff.
Right.
Come on, I'm sure Fred is.
No, I'm more basketball than hockey, Ron, these days.
Well, after losing on what was it? Having
Sunday
a
night.
great run of 10 in a row, Rangers lost on Sunday to Columbus, and for some reason, these goaltenders, whether it's Lindgren from Washington or Merzlikins from Columbus, they seem to pick up their game against the Rangers for some reason. But last night, the Rangers got back on the winning track, 4-1 win, Panarin with 2 goals, and I think they're ahead by about 7 points ahead of Carolina in the division.
Yeah.
And
right.
the other 2 local teams are struggling. Well, they won their last games, but the Devils kind of lucked out the other night. They were playing, who were they? San Jose, and they couldn't get a puck past Wedgwood or Blackwood. I forgot which one. Then he leaves after the first period, and the Devils score 7 goals in a row. So, but it's been a good run for the Rangers. Can't complain.
Do you think Devils will make the playoffs? Islanders make the playoffs?
No,
Both of them not going to make it, right?
Neither.
I don't think so.
And next week is the trading deadline, week from Friday, March 8th.
So they're going to unload, maybe?
Well, Devils need a goalie, but they're not going to be fine.
Rangers are looking for a sniper.
Michael.
Rangers are looking for a sniper.
I want to ask Rod, isn't it unusual, the psychology of this Retke's fighting? The outdoor game, he's fighting with Matt Martin, and it almost seemed like each game they had to set up a fight to begin the game. And the last fight he was in, he got the crap beaten out of him, and then he stopped fighting. I've never followed the Rangers where something this unusual has happened. What do you think?
Well, when you see somebody like 6'7", 6'8", he in all those fights, he was challenged before the game even started.
Right, it was prearranged.
You know, they at center ice when he's stretching, a guy comes next and says, "Okay, when we get on the ice, do you want to go?" So
yeah,
what's he supposed to say? But that's what the Rangers need. They got 2 enforcers now on the team.
Right.
Edstrom is also 6'7". You have Remy is 6'7", then you got Goodrow in the middle at 6'2". He's like a shrimp compared to his line mates. But the Rangers need that toughness. What's going to be interesting is Saturday night when they play Toronto with Reeves on Toronto. What's going to happen there? That's must watch.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your first report in 6 months. Thank you. Why don't we go to Fred and Wayne, pro basketball and college basketball back to back. Go ahead.
All right. Pro basketball. the Knicks tonight are playing Golden State. They're in fourth place, but they're only a game and a half out of the seventh spot, which would be a play-in. As we all know, they've been hit by all these injuries. Brunson didn't play the other night. And they got slammed by a good New Orleans team. I don't know who's playing tonight, but unless they get some guys back, they are really in some serious danger of not being in the top six. I mean,
I agree.
everything is jammed up. If you look at the standings, Orlando is only a game and a half. Orlando is actually Miami is leading their division, but is actually number 7 in the conference, a game and a half behind the Knicks. So they need to start stacking up some wins. It's not a given that they're going to finish fourth. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. Somebody says, well, you want to finish fourth, get the home court advantage, and so you don't have to play the Celtics in the first round. But are you better off finishing, if you don't finish fourth, are you better off finishing sixth? And then if you win the first round match from 3, you still won't play the Celtics. But they just need to get to improve and start getting some wins. You ask them what's happening with Randolph and Agbani. And they have the standard. They got to hit some markers, whether it's running, playing 2-on-2, and there's no definitive reports about when these guys are coming back, if they're going to come back this year. Sometimes it's like baseball. You always see guys, in spring training, day to day, and he wind up missing 3 months. So I don't think he's guaranteed they're coming back. As far as the other team in New York, the Nets season the next 2 games are make and break. They're 4 games out of 10th, which is Atlanta, and they play Atlanta at home Thursday and Saturday. If they don't win those 2 games, they can forget about any chance of the playoffs. Realistically, on the college front, I think St. John's may have played their way back into possibly an NCAA tournament bid. They're now 17-12, 9-9 in the conference. They had a great win Sunday against Creighton, where they just put it all together, offense and defense. And last night they had a very nice win, also a quad 1 win against Butler in Indianapolis, where they beat them by 23. They have 2 games remaining, which they should win. DePaul and Georgetown. That would put them at 19-12 going into the Big East tournament. And if they can win a game in the Big East tournament, or maybe 2 games, we'd give them 21-12, and then they might have a shot, depending on other conference tournaments and at-large bids. But they're back they're back in the conversation. Put it that way.
Okay, thank you. Joe has a comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Fred, that with Brunson out, 4/5 of the starting lineup is out for the Knicks.
Right.
If you think about it, DiVincenzo was not the starter at the beginning of the year. So
yeah,
I think as far as coming back, I think Anunoby could come back this year, but I have a feeling that Randall may not be back.
And you have to remember too about Randall. Every time he's come back from an injury, he has not played well.
I know.
You look back in the playoffs last year, he tried to gut it out. You got to give the guy credit. He doesn't believe in what's called load management. He wants to be out there and playing. And you have to give the whole Knick team really credit. These guys don't sit out unless they're really injured. And the one good part about this is they've discovered that Precious Achiuwa is really more than a throw into that trade.
Yep.
That he is, he was really highly touted coming out of college where he played, Memphis. He was highly recruited, and he's turned out to be a good player. But
yes,
the injuries just wearing him down. Golden State is could be a tough game tonight, even with Brunson. If he plays.
Is Brunson? Do you know about Brunson? Is he going to play or not?
I haven't heard. I don't know.
I haven't
Roger,
either.
have you heard anything?
Yeah, it's just I guess he has that neck injury, right? So
yeah, he woke up.
questionable,
He woke up Tuesday morning with spasms in his neck,
Yeah.
and he went throughout the day, tried to get some treatment, but he just couldn't. He couldn't go on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I really
Fred,
haven't
Fred,
heard anything more.
But who are the Knicks free agents?
The Knicks free. That's a good question.
I think Hartenstein is.
Hartenstein is. That's right, Joe. You're right.
I think OG's got a player option.
And Agibani is too.
He's got a player option, which will.
Yeah, I have an idea. I don't know if this is true or not. That before they traded for him, they may have had some talk with his agent about maybe trying to work something out to re-sign him. But I'm not sure if anybody else is a free agent on their team. I'm not sure if the guys they got from Detroit. I don't remember if those guys are free
Yeah,
agents.
Burks was a free agent.
Yeah,
He's been a disappointment, friend, hasn't he?
he has. He has. You know, but he's been playing more than than they wanted to originally. He was going to be somebody off the bench, but these guys are playing big minutes. Even Josh Hart has been playing well. I mean, he's not geared to play 40, 42 minutes a game. At some point, he's going to wear down in the regular season. These injuries are I mean, they're fun. They're taking its toll now, and they could be worse. All right, I think my 5 minutes are up.
I think so too.
I
I'm
may have
having
gone
some
over.
trouble here with my. Just keep on talking. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne, what do you have?
College basketball.
Okay. Before I start, I should tell everyone this: the red hat I'm wearing is not a MAGA hat; it's a University of Maryland hat. I thought I had to make, I want to make that
Lost last night to
public.
Northwestern.
I really have there's very little to report on college basketball. Houston right now they're number one. They look like could be the best team, but it's very hard to say who's the best team now. Fred, when does March Madness come out? When do the brackets come out?
March 17th is Selection Sunday.
All right, I guess and I'll be doing a couple of brackets. I don't know if anyone's going to do one here.
I'd love to.
We'll hopefully we'll do some. I'm gonna give the rest of my time to Larry, who I know wants to talk about Caitlin Clark. So
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing, Wayne?
Yeah, sure.
Congress?
Wayne, can I just say one thing?
Sure.
I'll tell you who I'm very impressed by. Houston in the game, but I'm also impressed by University of Tennessee.
Didn't they lose recently?
No, they beat Auburn last night by 8.
Yeah, didn't they lose last week or 2 weeks ago? Maybe
They may have, but they played a great game last night. I think they may be right now. They might be worthy of the fourth number one seed.
Yeah, probably right now they probably would be, but I think the seeds don't matter so much this year. If you
No,
look
I
at
know.
last year, I think the Final Four there was I think the highest seed was a 2 or 3. So
Right, I know. Connecticut won as a 6.
Yeah.
I know they don't.
Larry, I hand it off to you, my friend.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, Wayne, I just want to tell you, my grandson goes to Maryland also. Their basketball team isn't doing that great this
Not at
season.
I watched the game last night.
They have a very good baseball team.
What year is he in?
He's a freshman.
Yeah,
But,
so my
he went to the
granddaughter's a freshman
baseball
also.
game. Last year, he said, I think one of their players was a top draft pick by the Cubs for Maryland, the baseball
Really,
player.
I did. They have a very good point. To you, my friend.
Caitlin Clark is now the all-time women's basketball college scoring champ. She just beat Lynette Woodard, who played for the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women, which is a precursor to the NCAA. She played in 1978 to 81, and there was no three-point shooting at that time because three-point shooting only started for the women's basketball in 1987. Well, the last Caitlin is now needs 18 points to pass Pistol Pete. The last game of the season is on Sunday at noon on FS1, so you could see whether she'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
If she does that, I still think that that Pistol Pete is far greater than her. He did it in three years. He wasn't allowed to play as a freshman.
No
and there was
3-point.
no 3-point shooting at the time.
That's right.
Nevertheless, Clayton Clark seems to be a rock star, so to speak, right now. And if you watch the game, you're going to see 2 State Farm insurance commercials with her.
Larry, do you know, does she make more money staying in college another year or turning pro?
She made $750,000 this year. She has endorsements with State Farm, as I mentioned. She has endorsements with Bose headphones. She has endorsements with the tax company. I forget which one. Topps cards. She has accumulated more than $2 million since she was able to do these endorsements.
Fred, you might know, what is the average salary in the double NBA?
Yeah, well, I just want to say one thing. I'm sure she can make more money because there was an article in the paper the other day about Brianna Stewart re-signing with the Liberty, and she said she signed a 1-year contract for $205,000, which was less than the maximum amount you could get. I don't know if they have a rookie salary cap, but even if they don't, if 240,000, let's say, is the maximum, I'm sure Clark is making much more money with the NIL.
$72,000 is the starting salary for the WNBA.
What is it, Larry?
72,000.
In a rookie.
All right, listen, I want to say
that's
something.
for a first-year player, right, Larry?
First-year player.
72. Yeah, that's right.
I want to interrupt everybody a second here.
Can you say something about her origins? How did she get started in basketball?
She's from Des Moines, Iowa, Michael. She's a local kid from Des Moines.
And women's basketball is very popular in Iowa.
Absolutely.
Listen, guys, there's a good chance I may go off the air because it says my battery is low, and I don't know where I'm plugged into. I can't find I'm looking all over for the wire. So it says battery low, which means they give you like 5-10 minutes. If that's terrible.
Call Michelle, Mark.
Huh?
Call Michelle.
I can't find the wire anywhere. But if I go off, just keep on talking like usual. And I know Joe has a story, Michael has a story, Roger has a story. Go on to that, and maybe I'll get back. I don't know when they don't tell you, like they don't count down. So
Wayne, I had read
maybe Michelle has a plug. Maybe she has the
Gotta call
wire.
tech support.
Wayne, I had read that Caitlin Clark makes more money than 122 NBA players. Wayne.
Very interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, but if you compare her salary to that of NBA players,
Of course.
far lower.
Of
So
course.
there's no
Not
reason
even
why she
close.
can't get these NIL type monies once she's in the
100%.
pros, right?
Yeah.
I mean, her salary, her overall compensation will rise if she
Right.
gets into the pros, not fall. I also want to make the point that ironically, in its last gasps, the Pac-12 is particularly strong in women's basketball. You'll see if you look at the AP top 25, 6 of the top 18 are from the Pac-12.
Yeah, USC especially, I think, has this great
USC's
player. I
up
think
there
the last
about
name is
number 6.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juju
UCLA's up there.
Juju Watkins. Yeah.
She's liable to pass Caitlin Clark if she stays.
You know, I was reading an article in USA Today Sports Weekly that saying that there's more intrigue this year at the women's tournament because they're talking about South Carolina, which could be in the midst of a dynasty. You got Caitlin Clark. You got Connecticut is always there, and it's gonna be a lot
Ohio State.
Ohio State and like Mike said, USC was mentioned. In the Pac-12, and there's a lot of really great, and of course LSU with what's her name, Angel Reese, and the other. It's a lot of interest this year.
Okay.
All right. Who's going to go next?
Yeah, you got Michael, Joe, go ahead. Roger, either way, anyone. Just keep on going without me.
All right. You want me to go, Mark? I can go.
Oh, go.
All right. Let me go. I prepared something about the Jets and the Yankees. So anyway, for the Jets, McCall Hardman was on the Kimmel Show right after the Super Bowl. And I was so jealous of him because he caught the winning touchdown. And I pictured him 30 years from now going, boy, that was really something. But then all of a sudden, his name has turned to mud. And I think it all started in that very first game. Remember the game that Rodgers got hurt? And at the end, remember how the game ended with that great touchdown, the great
the punt
return, the punt return by Gibson. The Gibson replaced Hardman in the depth chart. So, and it ended up that Hardman ended up back on Kansas City. But meanwhile, you learn that Hardman was not happy with the Jets, and there was an alleged that he would give his the game plan to other teams, and his name kind of turned to mud. So that's what happened to Hardman. And the other thing about the Jets, of course, Zach Wilson got permission to go wherever he wants. So that's kind of cool about Zach Wilson. And with the Yankees, it's funny because yesterday I was at the endocrinologist getting checked up good. And I'm in the waiting room, and I was wearing my Yankee jacket, of course. And the guy's, the Yankees, they stink. They don't have a chance. Look where they're batting Judge. Look what's happening. Look at Cashman stinks.
And look what they're batting. They're batting third.
I said to him, let's be a little positive. Let's have a little optimism toward the Yankees. They've had a couple of lean years. And I was arguing back and forth. And as they called me to go into the endocrinologist, and I said, as I was going in, be optimistic. The Yankees are going to be all right. And he goes, don't tell me what to do. And he, so I got rid of him. But the Yankees got this Spencer Jones now, and they call him Aaron Judge Jr. So that should be a lot of fun. Now, what I did though to prepare for the baseball season, I have a little song that I would like to sing. Believe it or not, because I am a little outgoing. If you notice over here, this is Emerson Finer. Let me see if I get a picture of her. All right. That's my granddaughter. And every year I post her on Facebook with a different picture. And I sing the following song. I think I might have sang it last year also, with apologies to whoever wrote the song Baseball and Valentine. But this song is called Baseball and Emerson. And it goes something like this. There's a game today. They're set to play. And when you hear the umpire say, play ball, you know it's time for Baseball and Emerson. Baseball and Emerson. Emerson and baseball, what a treat. Baseball and Emerson. Baseball and Emerson. Emerson and baseball can't be beat. So when you're at the game, you will be so glad you came. Nothing else can quite compare to Baseball and Emerson. Baseball and Emerson, what a combination all across the nation. Baseball and Emerson. And I'm just going to say, enjoy the baseball season, everybody, because it's on its way. And that's my report.
Milton, who had the hit record on that one, Milton?
You know what? That was a big hit, 1983.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know who recorded it, though.
Number 32.
Hey,
Michael, do you realize that we're all going to eat dinner after this?
Yeah, and Michael, the Jets sort of file a tampering charge against the Chiefs. Maybe they didn't get a draft pick or so out of it.
They could get anything they could get. They should get, because the Jets, the most annoying season in my entire life as a football fan, with this year's Jets season.
Yeah. Now that you spoke about the Jets, can I talk a couple of minutes about the Giants?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it,
All
Fred.
right. Giants, like everybody else this week, they're all at the Combine in Indianapolis. Each team now has $30 million, about $10 to $12 million more than they thought, because the salary cap went up $30 million. And the two biggest free agents are Barkley and McKinney. And I read somewhere today, I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but that the Houston Texans might want to overpay for a running back because of their situation with Stroud, and their two leading receivers last year were rookies. So they're playing on a rookie contract. So they may have the ability to overpay for a running back, and they might be very interested in Barkley. I don't know if that's going to happen, if he's going to be interested in them. And McKinney says he wants to be a Giant for life, but it all comes down to money. And of course, the Giants, I think the Giants are committed to Daniel Jones next year. He's got $35 million. This last year of guaranteed money is against the cap. I don't think they should draft the quarterback with the number 6 pick. I think they got too many other holes. There's a couple good wide receivers. They need to fix the offensive line.
Right.
They need guards, and who knows if they still think Evan Neal could still play, but they'll have to see about that. So there's too many holes, and we'll see what happens next week. I think the deadline for the franchise tag is next week, and then after that, free agency starts after that, and then the draft at the end of April. So we'll have to see how things play out.
All right.
And you know what I find